Mangwanani Mwalelepo Vukenjani Kleklasvanave Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, the news and current affairs show bringing you everything you need to know happening on the African continent and beyond. You are joined by Ashen Berry on Friday the 13th of September, and these are some of the stories we're looking at. Botswana and the US firm partner to conduct border pathogen monitoring. The UN Security Council extends sanctions on Sudan until September 2025. And fuel train arrives in Nsanje, Malawi after 41 years. Follow all our programs on oneup2.com or DSTV2 at 5 and Gore TV 25 in Namibia, Network Media Hub on YouTube. Mike Suchula will also be joining us to bring us the latest news stories from Zambia. Stay with Africa Good Morning as we head into the top stories shortly.
Entries are now open for the second round of Republicane's Bridal Couple of the Year competition. Couples married between 1 June and 31 August have until 30 September of this year to enter the second round of the competition. Another one of the top 10 couples will be chosen from this pool to participate in the final, taking place in May 2025. To better your chance of reaching the final, enter now. To enter, simply WhatsApp #bridal2025 to 085 785 6231 and follow the on-screen instructions or scan this QR code.
In our top stories today, the United Nations Security Council adopted a draft resolution that extends the sanctions on Sudan until September 2025. Renewing the sanctions measures will restrict the movement of arms into Darfur and sanction individuals and entities contributing to or complicit in destabilizing activities of Sudan. All of this is critical to helping end the escalating conflict, alleviating humanitarian catastrophe, and putting Sudan back on the path to stability and security. The United States remains committed to the Sudanese people and will continue to work closely with Sudan, said Robert A. Wood, alternate representative for special political affairs in the United Nations. United States. Now, the United Nations Security Council unanimously adopted a draft resolution on 11 September extending Sudan's sanction regime, including targeted sanctions such as asset freezes, travel bans, and an arms embargo until 12 September 2025. The resolution is a technical rollover of measures previously renewed by Resolution 2676 in March 2023. Now, Sudan's representative Al-Harith Idris Al-Harith Mohammed said there's irrefutable evidence that this war that we are experiencing is a result of the support of the UAE for militias that are committing war crimes and crimes against humanity in Darfur. Moving on, Botswana and an American biotech firm, Ginkgo Bioworks, have partnered to conduct pathogen surveillance at the country's entry points. Health officials say the proactive move is meant to safeguard public health as the world faces emerging disease threats. Botswana introduced mpox screening last month for travelers at its entry points. In a statement Wednesday, Ministry of Health spokesperson Christopher Nyanga said a pathogen monitoring program is critical to detecting similar emerging health threats. Dr. Mbachi Mwaziduma, a public health expert, said the pathogen surveillance program will complement existing strategies to prevent disease threats. The initiative by the Ministry of Health is a very welcome development in the sense that it is at least demonstrating that they are both embracing traditional methods of surveillance and disease detection, plus at the same time they are looking at other innovative ways of disease detection, he said. Moving on to our next story, expectations are high that the time taken to haul fuel into the country will be reduced following the reoperationalization of the Makabera railway line connecting Malawi to the Indian Ocean. Wednesday, a train carrying 1.2 million liters of diesel arrived at Maka train station in Nsanje district for the first time in 41 years. The Beira Marka Malawi railway line has been non-functional due to damages on the line in both countries before rehabilitation works began a few years ago. Now, President Lazarus Chakwera witnessed the arrival of the train. National Oil Company of Malawi Chief Executive Officer Clement Kanyama said railway transportation of petroleum products was the direction that the country should take. He said the country would be receiving over 10 million liters of fuel through rail. The train has carried 1.2 million liters of fuel. This is a small train with 24 wagons. Each wagon contains 50,000 liters of fuel, which is the equivalent of about 2 fuel tankers. Now, Molefi Lekwaye, the suspended managing director of the Lesotho Post Bank, has been granted an interim order blocking the bank from interfering with his employment benefits. Lekwaye launched an urgent High Court application after the bank ordered him to promptly return its property, which was part of his employment benefits. The bank's instruction came days after he was charged with fraud, corruption, and money laundering linked to loans granted to people who wanted to buy cars to lease to the government. He was charged together with the Chief Sales Officer Matabo Tsello, the Chief Digital Banking Officer Mao Mapota, and 12 others. They are out on bail. The August 30 letter instructing him to return the car, computer, and cell phone was written by the bank's chairperson, Mampe Matela Mpana. And in the last of our top stories, Guinea-Bissau's President Umaro Sissoco Embalo said yesterday he would not run for a second term in elections in November. Embalo, 51, was elected in January 2020 to succeed outgoing President Jose Mario Vaz. He defeated runner-up Domingos Simoes Pereira with 54% of the vote and would have been eligible for another term in office. The unexpected announcement could trigger a power vacuum and heighten political instability in the coup-prone country of around 2 million people. At the end of a council of ministers on Thursday night, Embalo said his wife had dissuaded him from running again. He said his successor would not be Pereira nor 2 other opposition politicians, Brahma Kamara and Nuno Gomez Nabian, without elaborating further on naming a successor. Embalo, an ex-army general who served as prime minister under Vaz, inherited a long-running political impasse in a country where coups and unrest have been common since independence from Portugal in 1974. Those have been our top stories on Africa Good Morning. After the break, we talk to Mike Sichula as he brings us the stories directly from Zambia.
Neo Paints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neo Paints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neo Paints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
All right, it's time for us to talk to Mike Sichula as he brings us the news stories from Zambia. Mike Uribwanji.
Bueno, Muribwanji, Africa, good morning to our dear viewers.
Africa, good morning indeed. Now, authorities in Lusaka have seized a Toyota Hilux vehicle from a leader of a Catholic church. Why is this?
Okay, this is in a matter where former Zambia Revenue Authority Commissioner General Kingsley Chanda and former Director of Administration Callistus Kauma stand charged with willful failure to follow procedure in the disposal of 22 motor vehicles between 2017 and 2020. So a state witness in this case testified that all board approvals were obtained in the sale of the vehicles, and that and also the witness told the court that she did not see any receipt showing that Lusaka Archbishop Aliki Mbanda bought any ZRA vehicle, and neither did she see any gate pass confirming that he collected any vehicle from ZRA. So because of this implication, the Zambia Revenue Authority has seized the vehicle, the one that is there in the picture, from Archbishop Mpundu, Archbishop Arik Banda, because it is suspected that he did not, there were underhand methods in which he got the vehicle from ZRA. However, it is not unusual for the Zambia Revenue Authority to give out vehicles to charity organizations such as churches, orphanages, and any other government institution that may need a vehicle. So it is in a matter that it has become like this because people are saying, because Archbishop Banda has been a strong critic of President Hakainde Hichilema ever since he took office in 2021. So because of this back and forth politically, his case of him having gotten a vehicle from ZRA has become a very public, has become something that a number of people are debating in Zambia.
All right, Mike. Now, moving on, in order to enhance road safety, the government plans to purchase artificial intelligence cameras. I wonder if everyone's on board with this, Mike.
Well, this development may not be welcomed by many motorists, because even before this plan has been announced by the Road Safety and Transport Agency, it has already installed speed cameras, but most of Zambia's motorists have not welcomed them because of the high fees that are charged for one who breaks, who contravenes traffic offenses. So in this latest case, the Road Safety and Transport Agency plans to purchase 10 artificial cameras, intelligence cameras, to enhance traffic monitoring and enforcement capabilities. This was revealed by Transport and Logistics Permanent Secretary Frederick Mwanawasa, who says that the new cameras will be added to the existing 8 at the Road Transport and Safety Agency. So Mr. Mwanawasa was speaking when a team from the Namibian National Road Safety Council called on him at his office in Lusaka. And the Namibian Council chairperson, Eliphas Obens, commended the Road Safety Agency commitment to creating a safe road network. As you may be aware, in Zambia, almost every year, about 2,000 people die from traffic-related road traffic accidents. And this is something that the traffic regulator wants to ensure that it is brought down, considering that some of the roads in Zambia are not very well load-worthy, and also some of the vehicles that go in these roads, sometimes they get road fitness using underhand methods, and because of this, they want to see to it that artificial intelligence cameras can become a useful tool to ensure that there are no such vehicles that go on roads that are not roadworthy, and also to monitor careless drivers.
All right. Well, it's good to see, Africans helping each other. Having driven in both Namibia and Zambia, I can say Zambia could benefit from Namibia with regards to roads. And of course, Zambia keep the football and copper, so to speak. All right. Moving on, Mike. A Chinese investor has expressed interest in establishing a lithium battery plant in Zambia. Tell us more.
Wow, so this is one of those developments that are coming following President Hakainde Hichilema's visit to China. So Beta Technology Group Limited has expressed interest in establishing a lithium battery manufacturing plant in Southern Province, which if it goes operational, will create about 3,000 jobs. So Beta Life General Manager Liu Jungwen says once the firm is established, it will produce 3 million batteries per year. And the Chinese investor also says this will also provide alternative energy source for the domestic market and mitigate the current electricity deficit in the country. As we speak now, in some areas, they are going for about 2 to 3 days without electricity. Even where I am currently, we haven't had electricity for the last 3 days. And so the advent of alternative sources of energy like lithium batteries through solar is one way that most Zambians are going in terms of to have electricity in their homes and also in their businesses. And at the moment, without the absence of local manufacturing of these batteries, they are fetching at a higher price, which is in some cases beyond the reach of many who still want to have power. But because they cannot afford, so it is expected that once this plant becomes operational, it will create competition so that the price of batteries becomes lower for many average Zambians to afford.
All right, understandably so. We'll see how that one unfolds. Now, Vice President Mutale Nalumango has directed that companies found brewing illicit alcohol should be closed down. Let us know more.
Yes, the consumption of illicit brew has become common in most Zambian towns, both urban and rural, because a number of people have taken into beer drinking for various reasons. Others is because of depression. Others just want to be careless in terms of how they are drinking their beer, and they do not mind what kind of beer they are drinking, where it has been brewed, whether it has been certified fit for consumption or not. All they want is to get intoxicated, get high, and because of this rampant careless beer drinking, there have been a number of people that have been admitted in mental health hospitals. Others have died. They have just been found dead. Others have lost their eyesight because they're drinking beer that has not been certified fit by medical experts. So what the vice president is doing is actually what has been in force for some time. There used to be a beer called Tujiri, small beer packaged in small sachets that were being sold on the market, and they became a nuisance such that the previous administration banned its production. However, with the passing of time, these types of beer have gone back on the market, and authorities seem now they are more or less like doing a catch up in terms of ensuring that the law that was implemented some years ago is revisited to ensure that people do not die from these illicit beer products that are found themselves on the market. And it seems that authorities are not doing enough to curb its mushrooming and also spreading. Because when you go into the central business districts, you'll find people repackaging illicit beers into used bottles. Some they're repackaging them in small plastics. They're selling them. And once people drink such kind of beer, a number of health complications are coming up, and government wants to put a stop to that.
Well, I'll stick to Mosi Laga if that's okay. Thank you, Mike, for bringing us the news stories from Zambia.
Wow, Mosi Laga is one of our best locally brewed beer, and if you stick to that, you are a truly African legend. Thank you very much, Africa. Good morning to our dear viewers.
Africa, good morning indeed. I'll tell you my name is Ashimberi, but according to Mike, it's actually pronounced the African legend. Stay with us as we head into the weather. Now, the U.S. Export-Import Bank is considering funding a liquefied natural gas project led by Eni Spa off the coast of Mozambique, years after investing in an onshore facility to produce the fuel that's been delayed by security issues and opposed by environmental groups. Eni's planned Gore North floating LNG plant is listed by the official export credit agency of the U.S., known as XM, as a pending project. The financing amount would be disclosed upon final board approval. approval, the bank said in an emailed response to questions, declining to give a timeline for the decision, and it didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. Let's head into the economic indicators just before the sport. All right, let's get into the sport news on Africa. Good morning. Manchester United are in a transition period as well as dealing with injuries, but this cannot be an excuse, manager Erik ten Hag said yesterday. Ten Hag's side, who are still without the injured Rasmus Højlund and Luke Shaw, have lost their two most recent Premier League games, including a 3-0 defeat at home to Liverpool. But the manager is ignoring the criticism. It doesn't impact me. I know in the process where we are and what we have to do, where we are going. Now, Ten Hag told the press conference ahead of Saturday's game at Southampton. Moving on to some African sport, Nigeria's para-powerlifting star Folashade Oluwafemiyawo says her dedication and focus helped her to set a new world record at the 2024 Paralympic Games in Paris. The three-time world champion broke her existing mark in the over 86 category, becoming 86 kilogram category, becoming the first female para-athlete in history to lift 166 kilograms. With the gold medal secured, the 39-year-old returned to lift 167 kilograms and improve her world record. I just keep on training even when I'm sick. I still go for training, Oluwafemiyawo told BBC Sport Africa. And finally, the French League's legal commission has ordered Paris Saint-Germain to pay Kylian Mbappe the 55 million euros in unpaid wages that he claims is entitled to, the league said on Thursday. The league confirmed the decision without more details a day after the France superstar rejected a mediation offer by the commission in his dispute with his former club. PSG officials and Mbappe's representatives met in Paris after Mbappe asked the commission to get involved. Mbappe joined Madrid this summer on a free transfer. Those have been our stories on Africa Good Morning, not just today, but throughout the week. Thank you for staying with us on DSTV 285, GoTV 25, 1up2.com, and Network Media Hub on YouTube. From me, Ashwin Bedi, and the Africa Good Morning team, have a wonderful weekend. But first, Sola Jakanaka.